Hello, welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger on November 1st, 2020. It was a sunny but cold day, not too bad considering we are quickly heading into winter and what many people say is the second wave of the pandemic. There's still a lot of bad things happening, will be happening around the world, here in Canada, in the US, a lot of chaos, a lot of unrest. And it is one of these issues that I want to talk about today. Earlier, when I went out for lunch with my good friend Wesley, we were talking about how it is so ridiculous that almost a whole year into the pandemic, after 10,000 people, more than 10,000 people in Canada, and hundreds of thousands of people in the US, millions of people around the world have died to this pandemic. We still have people getting into fistfights and arguments on public transit because some people refuse to wear a mask. And their reason for refusal is that it infringes on their freedom. Now, don't get me wrong, I have to wear a mask when I'm training, when I'm teaching my students, when I'm training martial art, when I go to the gym. And I hate masks as much or more than a lot of you, especially because I have a little bit of a predisposition to asthma. And when I have to work out with a mask on my face, it constantly threatens to push me over the edge, and I find myself gasping for air like a fish out of water. But I wear my mask. My friend Wesley told me that where he worked with a lot of homeless people, a lot of people with mental issues. And he told me that there's always been this group of people he run into at work. They are polite, but they are very, very aloof, very distant, very cold. It's like these people are like zombies. They don't have any emotion whatsoever. And it's not until he worked with them for a bit of time before he realized that these people were on some kind of medication. So through his conversation with these people, he found out that these are people who have to get antipsychotic injection every few days, every week, to keep them from murdering a lot of people. That is the court condition for these people. They have to continue getting these injections willingly. Otherwise, the government will lock them away because they're a threat to society. Wesley said to me, he said, here are these people, their entire existence revolve around this condition that they have to continuously getting injected with antipsychotic to keep the rest of us safe, to keep themselves out of captivity. They have no freedom. Their entire existence hinges on a condition laid down by the court. But they are happy to take this condition because if they don't, they will be locked away. These people sacrifices their freedom of choice to keep the society safe, to keep themselves out of captivity. Isn't it ironic then that people are balking at such a simple thing as wearing a mask? Because when you really think about it, when you're wearing a mask, it's not for your own benefit, it's for other people's benefit. And before you may say, well, yeah, but I'm not sick, you don't know that. I can be a virus carrier, you can be a virus carrier. They already said a big chunk of transmissions are done by people who are asymptomatic, people who don't show any symptom. We don't know that. Would you really want to risk other people's life or health because it makes you a little bit uncomfortable to wear a mask? Would you really want to risk making other people sick and that those other people may pass it on to their mom, their dad, their children? Someone may die because you are so worried about your right to choose not to wear a mask. I get asked this question several times on Facebook, on social media. So, do you really believe the government? What if the government's lying to us? What if this is just all a big scam? What if this is the government's way of taking our rights away? What if? What if? What if? And I'm going to tell you, yes, I hear you. I totally believe that the virus is not as scary as the government and the scientists are trying to tell us. I believe that. I believe that the politicians, the scientists, have their own reason to make it sound a lot worse than it is because it benefits them. Just look at how many government officials are being caught, being audited, being examined, cross-examined, being investigated because the money that's supposed to go towards the pandemic relief are going into their private account or their family members' account. Yes, so this pandemic is very beneficial to some people. The politicians, the scientists, yeah, it's beneficial to the scientists too. A lot of, especially virologists, a lot of people who are doing this whole virus thing, research and stuff like that, they're getting paid big money. Companies are getting paid big money. If they keep this going, if they keep us scared of this, they keep making big money. I mean, prior to the pandemic, who have heard of Theresa Tam outside of government? Who have heard of Bonnie Henry here in BC? I certainly didn't. I imagine a lot of you never even knew who they were. But now they get their face, their voices on the news every day. And they're getting paid. Don't get anything, don't be mistaken about that. They are getting paid. And they should. But all this is not important to me. I'm still going to wear a mask. I'm going to give you two simple reasons why. Maybe these reasons don't make sense to you, but they make sense to me. This is Soul Search Sunday. It's my soul that I worry about. First reason, I wear the mask out of skepticism. Why do I say I wear a mask out of skepticism? I'm skeptical towards the government. Yes, but this is not why I say skepticism. My skepticism is towards the whole idea of freedom. I grew up in Taiwan. If you have time, do a Google search on martial law in Taiwan. Taiwan was under martial law for over 38 years. 38 years, like that, like the longest in the world that any country's been under martial law. the martial law wasn't lifted until 1987. So I was already 6 years old before martial law was gone. So I understand, perhaps better than a lot of people, that freedom is not a right. Freedom is a privilege. Who gave you this privilege? The government. The government gives you this privilege, which means the government can take it away if they really want to. They don't need to dream up a virus. They don't need to mess up the entire country's economy to take it away. There's a lot easier way of taking your rights away, your freedom away. Believe me, I grew up in a country where the government said, because blah 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 blah, we are going under martial law. You have a problem, we shoot you, and we shoot your family, and that's that. So, for people that can stand there and say, it's my basic right to have freedom. No, it's not. When it comes down to it, your right, my right, our right is governed by law. It's governed by, it's enforced by law enforcers. It's put in place by the government. Don't be so presumptive to think that this is something personal, that the government did this to take your rights away, because that doesn't make sense. I mean, what? You think the entire world's government just suddenly decide at the same time, mind you, to mess up their own economy? UK, Britain, Australia, China, Korea, US. I mean, just take China and US. They're not even on the same page. They're not the same system. So you think, oh, this government suddenly decide, okay, this is a good idea. We're going to mess up the whole economy to take freedom away from our people? Think about it. In China, they already don't have freedom. They don't need to take that away. So to make you wear a mask is not taking away your freedom. It is the government, it is the scientists pleading, it is people pleading for you to please take a hand in keeping everybody safe. Please take a hand in making this pandemic or whatever nonsense this is as short as it need be. Because the more people that are going to fight this, the longer this is going to last. The longer this lasts, the longer Canadian and US borders stay closed, and that makes me very, very unhappy because my beautiful girlfriend is in California, and as long as that border stays closed, I don't get to see her, and that makes me really cranky. So please wear your mask. Please, please. So, skepticism. My skepticism is toward the whole idea of freedom is our right. No, it's not. Really, when it comes down to it, in this world, our right is whatever people fight for us for, whatever we fight for ourselves for. And don't forget, you got to win the fight. If you lose the fight, you still don't get it. So, even staying alive is not your basic right in some country. In some country, Ethiopia, anybody? Getting 3 meals a day is not even a right. So it's all about the government. It's all about what the government fight for you, put in place for you, maintain for you. Number two, my reason number two for wearing a mask is realism or logic, if you would call it. Do I believe everything the government said? Heck no. Of course not. Like I said, I don't think the virus is anywhere as bad as they are making people think. Uh, do I think that everything the scientists are saying are true? No, I don't think so. But why do I believe in wearing a mask? This is my logic. If today I decide to wear a mask, if I listen to the government, and years later I find out the government lied to me, I can turn around and sue them for millions of dollars. Okay? Because there's going to be a class action, no mistake about it. If people can prove it, and so if you look at all these posts and uh, uh, talks on the social media and this conspiracy series, everyone seems like they got a lot of proof. They can show you this and can show you that. Okay, if you have so much proof, if your proof is rock solid, then I'm going to hope that you are right. I'm going to go on listening to the government, and then years later, when you guys, those of you who think you have solid proof, get together a class action to sue the government for lying to people, I'm going to sign my name there and share in the millions of dollars you are going to bring in. That is the worst that can happen. If I decide not to listen to the government and the government turn out to be right and I catch coronavirus or I pass on coronavirus because I refuse to wear a mask, who am I going to sue? I can't turn around and sue all those people that talk about conspiracies on Facebook. I can't say, oh, well, I listened to them. That's why I defy the government. Not going to get me anywhere. That's just going to make me turn out like to be like some kind of an idiot. So there are times when I will say that law and order is not always the best, but for the most part, for most time, I think play it by the rule, obeying the law, going along with the government is your best policy. After all, after all, like I said, if the government turn out to be wrong, someone's going to do something about it, and then you get to sign your name and claim that you were one of the victims, and just sit back and rake in the cash. Well, if the government turn out to be right, well, you were following orders, following the law anyway, so you didn't lose anything. It is something that really have no bad consequences. Not when all you have to do is keep social distancing, keep wearing a mask. I know that some people already want to argue back and say, well, yeah, but they make you wear a mask today. God knows what they're going to make you do tomorrow. That is tomorrow. We don't know about tomorrow. What if tomorrow they say we don't have to wear a mask anymore? You don't know that. I don't know that. What I know is I'm going to deal with today and leave tomorrow until tomorrow. Thank you for checking out today's Soul Search Sunday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Music Monday. For now, have a good night. Wear your mask, please. Let that border open up soon. Have a good night.